It's Taste of Country Nights with Evan Paul on demand, Season 2, Episode 46 with Walker Hayes. Are your kids into your music?
My son Chapel, he and I are very different. We have very different interests. I am definitely not his, like, at the end of the year wrapped up playlist #1 artist. He'll be like, dude, I'm not really into what you do, you know, and that's fine. But he, as a family, like, he loves going on the road, and I'm grateful that for all they sacrifice, you know, to be with me, and that helps me be a better dad. But they're willing to be in the video. The Fancy Like Christmas video was a blast, man.
And this whole interview we're about to get into, it was a blast, man. We had a lot of fun talking to Walker Hayes on the podcast. Now, in past episodes, we've talked to Shenandoah. You can go back and check that out. Toby Keith was on the podcast. Dolly Parton, Jelly Roll. We've had a big year as far as Taste of Country Nights on demand. You can relive all those interviews now at tasteofcountry.com. Let's get into this Walker Hayes interview.
Go, Jesus. It's your birthday, boozy like blow-ups in the front yard. Hoping Santa gonna leave an Applebee's gift card in my socket, even though we getting naughty all night. Woo! That's how we do. Fancy like.
Walker Hayes, man, that's an awesome version of Fancy Like, man. I love that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's been hard, man. Singing the right words. I had a fundraiser with Mackenzie Porter a couple weeks ago, and just showed up to sing Fancy Like and AA and a couple more. And man, I screwed up Fancy Like. I mean, I royally. I would go from back and forth, and I was literally like, "What's the first line? What's the second line?" You know, I mean, because I worked so hard to learn the Christmas version that now I'm like, what version am I going to do on tour next year?
Yeah, do you just bust the Christmas one out like after Thanksgiving?
I was thinking about maybe doing this like half and half medley where maybe like the screens go Christmas for a chorus. That's where cool. So the crowd can be hyped. They'll be like, oh, you know, but man, it's been a whirlwind, man. It's funny, you know, as a writer, I've always wanted a Christmas song. You know, as a songwriter, you're like, what if, you know, what if I had a Christmas standard, and it looks like this one's going to stick around. So I don't know, man. It's been fun. It's been fun. Do your thing. And I can repeat all that too.
That works, man. Yeah. I think I got all that. Dude, okay, so Fancy Like Christmas. How did the idea, who came up with the idea like, hey, let's do this?
My label, Monument Records. I mean, I did not have, honestly, I was looking forward to a like holiday season with not a lot of work, you know, just stepping back. And I was at the Dove Awards to sing Jesus Fought with Zach Williams. And I was just hanging with my manager backstage and just hanging, honestly, like kind of saying man, it's been what a great year it's been. This was October, like right before Halloween. And he said, man, you know, Monument has always had this idea. I mean, they've been wanting to put out Christmas music, and Katie McCartney at the label has been dying for a Fancy Like Christmas. And I was like, you mean like the same song, like just write the word, like just do a Christmas song out of that with some bells in the track? And they were like, yeah, you know, you want to try. And I got excited. I mean, that song was already, Fancy Like was the most fun song I've ever written that day with our friends. And so to get those writers together, honestly, we took Katie's advice, said, let's try it. That was on a Monday. We set up the write on a Thursday. We had it written via text message, basically, before we even met. And then when we met on Thursday, this was still right before Halloween, my publishing company, they decorated the place with Christmas stuff. They had the leg lamp in the writing room. They had it all. They basically brought Christmas to October for us to write it, and we only had a few lines left, man. We had such a blast texting each other those lines, and we were like, dude, that is America, you know. And then once we had Go Jesus, It's Your Birthday, we were like, dude, this may never go away. We were like, it might be bigger than the original one, you know. And then it was like, how do you get the creative like how you get Applebee's, but not be like all Applebee, you know, man, it reminded me how songwriting hadn't been that fun lately. I've just been on the road. So writing has been more of a task than it usually is for me personally. And that really brought back man, we had a blast, but it was not my idea at all. It was all my label. I got to give them props. Man, I'm so grateful when they're creative because I get tired. You know, my tank gets empty. And so when they're like, hey, sink your teeth into this, and I love it, I'm like, man, thank you. I'll give y'all credit all day. Let's go.
Are you still on Applebee's books?
Oh yeah, man. We had, dude. I don't know if I've seen
gift cards
you.
in your box.
I got a gold card. We eat apple. Like I will go down. I'll bury me with that gold card, man. It's a lifeline, man. When me and my kid, when we can't figure out, you know, where to eat. We actually live out in East Tennessee now, kind of in the woods, but there's an Applebee's like 15 minutes away in Tullahoma. And when we're like, we don't want to pay or we don't know where to go, dude, we just get that gold card out. Everybody,
where is the gold card right now?
Lainey keeps control of the gold card. She doesn't, she has problems with my diet. She's trying to get me to eat a little bit healthier, maybe
what
in
does
my
it
old
look
age.
like?
My diet?
No, the gold card.
Oh, dude, it's solid. It's fun to drop. It's heavy.
Really?
And it's like king. Like
No.
yeah. The kids take turns who gets to slap it on the table.
What does it say on it? Like,
it's like it's almost, the Applebee's is almost kind of hologramish across it with the apple, but it is a solid. It is literally gold. It is insane, man.
Does anyone else have one?
No, I'm the only one. They assure me of that. They were like, we've done gift cards, you know, to people they've done endorsements with. They did a big thing with The Rock with one of his movies last year, but they were like, nobody has a gold card. Dude, I wish you could see my manager and I's face when we're at this super nice dinner and it's just me and Rob. And look, man, these business people, they're like pros, you know, their posture, they know how to eat with the fork. We're at this super nice restaurant and they're like, we'd like to give you a gift, you know, and they like, they almost did it like your salary, you know, they were like slid it across the table. And it was like in a box, like a Tiffany's box, you know, it wasn't in a Tiffany's box, but it was like that. And I opened it and was like, dude, is this what I think it is? Like, is this Applebee's for life? And, so yeah, man, that was honestly for me, big family, that's a huge blessing, man. I mean, it costs a lot to feed my kids, so I don't take that for granted. We could have used that 10 years ago.
Well, so wait,
yeah,
how does that work though? Because I mean, I got to imagine Applebee's in Tullahoma.
Yeah,
they don't really. I mean, no one sees the gold card. So do you have to explain it to them?
So the owner of certain stores will notify each location, especially the ones that we hit a lot. Sometimes if we're in a random town and I'm like, hey man, let's take the crew and the band, like this is after show food, I'll call an exec and be like, yo, just let them know, you know, we're coming, because you're right. Like not all waiters and waitresses, they've never seen the card, you know?
Okay.
So, but yeah, man,
wow.
It's Applebee's dude, they are good to me and my family. And so there was no doubt. I was like, dude, we got to get them in this song.
Somber question, but who gets the card when you die?
Oh, that's interesting. I'm sure there's a couple things my kids will fight over. I got a pair of Jordan 11s that my sons already, they get pissed when I wear them because they're like, dude, you're creasing them up. And I'm like, you're foreseeing my death right here, you know? But this guitar is probably up there, maybe a gun or two and a bow. But the Applebee's gift card, I wonder what, like, will they still honor it, you know, if I'm gone? But I don't know, man. It really, again, it's laughable, but again, man, you know, 6 kids that before that song, I didn't know what we were going to do. I mean, I'm not that responsible of an adult, so I wasn't like waking up worrying about it every day. But our future financially wasn't certain, so I don't take it lightly that we can that I can go and not feel that burden, on feeding the fam. So it's freaking awesome.
What about Starbucks now?
I don't know, man. Maybe we'll see. I love Starbucks. My daughter has. I'm embarrassed to say, man. I do the pink drink. I do the dragon drink. I do every dessert. You know what I'm saying? I would be embarrassed to tell my brother how well I can order at Starbucks now, but I do the thing, and I love the peppermint mocha is no slouch. I'm not lying. If you hadn't tried it, it's legit, and I look forward to it. I'm always that guy in like mid-January that's like, y'all still got the thing, the holiday spice, the peppermint mocha. But
wow.
I haven't talked to them, man. I think we'll do something. Hopefully, maybe I'll get that gold card, and then it's over, bro. I can go to any strip mall in America, it'd be fine.
Is it harder to convince your kids to be in your videos now?
No, man. My kid, I mean, they go on the road. They go on the road with me. They're just, I mean, I'm so grateful. That's a great question, and I don't just assume. Just so everybody know, I don't just go, hey, y'all are in the video. I ask them, y'all want to be in this video? No, I love you the same. Whether if you're like, no, it's my son Chapel. He and I are very different. We have very different interests. I am definitely not his like at the end of the year wrapped up playlist #1 artist. He'll be like, dude, I'm not really into what you do, and that's fine. But he, as a family, like he loves going on the road, and I'm grateful that for all they sacrifice, to be with me, and that helps me be a better dad. But they're willing to be in the video. The Fancy Like Christmas video was a blast, man. That was just such a blast. I think we'll crank that up 30 years from now and just laugh, man.
Very well done. It was good.
It was good.
I want to know more about the trick shots you did all summer.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet Dude Perfect?
No, I haven't met them yet. We've made contacts, talking about maybe some type of collab at some point, but they're a huge part of our life. I mean, they're my kids, my wife and I, we watched every single thing they've done at least twice. And man, honestly, after all my dreams came true, there's kind of a dark side, honestly, to the trick shot. Like I think I needed just something to say, hey, I'm going to accomplish, every day. Because after Fancy Like and AA and just my tour now, my job has kind of just become like, I hate to say 9 to 5, but it's just what you do. You just go play songs, and I love seeing my fans and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I would come home, I was like, what do I do with me now? And I love sports, and my sons, love trick shots. And it's been a grind, man. We're 190 days. So we committed. I made it public. I said, we're going to do a year straight. And no one on earth would realize how hard that has been. I mean, it's hard to come up with a new one that many days in a row. 2, to execute it. We've had so many where the camera didn't work. It was hard to film. We deleted it. And so it's been a great lesson. I think my kids have learned from this that even something you absolutely love and it's so fun eventually becomes work. And you lose that attitude of gratitude where you're just grateful to get up and do it again. And, but yeah, dude, we're 190 in, we just crossed halfway, and, we're on cruise, man. My wife's invested. She's all about it. The dogs are like, they're chewing up on the ping pong balls. They're eating those every day. And all my kids have been really involved, man. They're creative, and it's a family. It's a family affair, man. We all get involved.
That's great. Back in 2017, You told us Christmas was pretty low key at your house. A couple small gifts for each kid. What's it like in 2023?
Same. I mean, we're a 3-gift a piece. We try to remember, why we give gifts. It's all about the birth of Christ and the gift, that He is. And then our biggest thing is blow ups, man. I know you've heard the blow up story about, like, before I ever made it, just to get my kids to be quiet in Lowe's. I was like, all right, look, if Dad ever has a number one smash, everybody's getting a blow up. And my son Chapel remembered. And so when Fancy Like blew up, he was like, let's go to Lowe's. And so my house is like, there's at least 12 blow ups now. You know, they think we're just blow up central. But yeah, when I walked out this morning, I was standing behind the front door and you just hear this like, you know, it's this constant outside. And there's even a snowman that like plays and bounces side to side that we have to turn him off at night because he's so loud. But yeah, man, blow ups. We're about blow ups and family.
Okay, random question. What do you think is true about aliens?
I don't care or no. I mean, if an alien comes down and I see him, that'd be cool. But if I don't really care. You know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me at all.
Do you think you've met one?
An alien? I mean, I've met some people where I've been like, dude might be an alien. But I mean, if they were not. You know, he didn't kill me. I'm still here. But no, man, I think life on another planet would be sick, you know, but it'd be scary. I'd be like, dude, what'd you come here for? Like, you gonna abduct me and probe me or whatever? But yeah, I mean, I think I don't really care about that stuff.
Okay. All right, we're gonna play this Q&A game.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, time for Walker Hayes Wikipedia trivia. We're going to ask you some questions about yourself.
Yes, sir.
And if you get all of them right, we'll give $100 from Taste of Country's bank account to the charity of your choice.
Well, let's go.
If you miss any, that $100 carries over to the next artist.
Let's go. Okay.
How confident are you in yourself and your Wikipedia page?
I mean, I know a lot about me. I don't know what the internet says about me. So,
question.
Oh yeah, I'll do Hope International right now, man. We go to Rwanda with Hope International. They do microfinance stuff for people in 20 different countries. It's crazy. So yeah, let's do Hope International.
All right.
I got to win this money.
Here we go. June 12th is a very important date in your life.
Oh,
why?
Shoot. That's the evening that I married Lainey Francis Bevel. Yeah, my wife. That's when we got married, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Look, we got a lot of birthdays, okay? So.
That's right. All right, number 2. Finish this Walker Hayes lyric. She can wear the pants. She can run the show. She can crack a whip like Indiana Jones.
She can rule the roost. She can snap and holler. She can wear the pants long as I can take them off.
Wow.
Let's go. That's an oldie but a goodie.
Oh.
That song almost ended my career, I think, before it even began. I got dropped from Capitol Records. I remember that song. It flopped hard on country radio.
Do you think it's like could make it past the post like the Me Too era?
I don't know. Again, like aliens, man, I don't care. I mean, a lot of stuff I say is probably wrong.
Okay.
So
right.
I'm pretty sure that's how I'm going to go down eventually, is say something wrong. So
I think
thanks for
will.
setting me up.
No problem.
Right. This may be the day.
Number 3, per Wikipedia, you graduated from Birmingham Southern College with a degree in music, emphasis on piano. After that, you intended to continue your education at the University of North Carolina. What did you plan to study at UNC? Pre-med or dental?
Pre-dental. I did. I wanted to be a dentist.
What happened?
One, I'm not smart enough, but 2, I shadowed a oral surgeon, and of all, the whole reason I think, looking back, I wanted to be a dentist is I was confused. You know, it's like I graduated, and I also all of a sudden just felt this pressure to like have it together, like have a plan. And man, I'm just not that guy. Like, I don't know what next week looks like. I don't know. I go to the airport and I don't know my final destination ever. They always ask me. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just here because it says I got a flight to somewhere. So, but at that time of my life, I think I was just feeling this insecurity because all my friends had a plan. And my best 4 buddies from high school are all pediatric dentists, ear, nose, and throat surgeon, general dentist. You know, they did something important, you know, with their life, and they make money, dude. And their kids have matching clothes, and like they just drive awesome cars, and they just do it right. And I was kind of following suit, but great experience, man. I shadowed this oral surgeon for a year, and this dude had I mean, this dude's house was like, this was 2003. And I mean, his house was like, it's bigger than anyone's in Brentwood. I mean, this thing was insane in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. But this dude was miserable. I mean, this dude literally never got excited, never got sad, was like numb, you know? And I was like, man, how's this dude have all, I mean, his wife was beautiful, his kids were beautiful, everything was perfect, but he just was miserable. And I kind of shied away. I finished a year, and right before I took the DAT, I just bailed, man. And I went back to Mobile and started selling real estate. But yeah, it was pre-dental, which is funny, man. Can you imagine you sit in the chair and I'm like, open wide, let's go. You know, I feel like you'd be like, nope, never mind.
In 2022, you admitted this as the number one thing on your bucket list.
Oh shoot, I've always wanted to streak a field. Is that it?
Yeah,
that's public knowledge?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, now the cops are ready for me.
Have you ever streaked before?
No, man.
Okay.
I'm attracted to just anything that I'm afraid of. Like, for instance, like I love to bow hunt, but part of my favorite part of the experience is just walking in the woods at 5, you know, before it's light, and just hear, you know, my imagination, it just goes nuts. It's like I've seen Blair Witch Project too many times, you know, and I started envisioning this stuff, but I can't think of any. I'm just thinking, man, if I ever streak a field, I want my wife to have her stopwatch out and time my 40, because I'm sure it'll be the fastest I've ever run in my life. Could you imagine the exhilaration? Like, can you imagine 80,000 people? You're naked. Tasers are coming after you. Probably a football player who's athletic, and you're just trying to get end zone to end zone. And I think if I made it end zone to end zone, I would just stop. I'd be like, I freaking did it. And I can't imagine anything scarier, or where your heart would be beating out of your chest. So that's always been a crazy dude. We were at the SEC championship, and my wife, our seats were low, and she was like, "Is today the day?" She was like, and I was like, "I don't know, man. You're kind of getting me like excited, but I don't know, man. I think
we'll cover it if you get arrested."
Well, I was like, it'd be so good for my career, man. It would explode. Yeah.
And finally, in 1998, you graduated from St. Paul Episcopal School in Mobile, Alabama. It's a school with a lot of notable alumni. Which of these is not a fellow alum?
Oh, shoot.
A.J. McCarron, the former national championship winning quarterback for the University of Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Jake Peavy.
Roll Tide.
Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace.
Okay.
Not, yeah.
That is correct. He's from Mobile.
Yeah.
Did you go to school with him?
No, I went to school. Jake graduated right after me. AJ was significantly a while, maybe 8 years after me, 10 years. But yeah, I didn't know about Bubba. I just knew he didn't go to. I knew he didn't go to St. Paul's.
Congratulations, you're the winner.
Let's go.
$100 to the charity.
Whistle over there for indoor.
That was good.
The outdoor whistle.
All right, let's bring in Billy Dukes from behind the camera to talk about this interview here with Walker Hayes. What's happening, man?
We opened up a new game here with Walker Hayes, the Wikipedia trivia. How'd it go, in your opinion? How do you feel about it?
Good. I thought it was good. You know, it'll be funny if an artist misses any of them because, you know, I mean, it is about their life, but there was one or two there where I was like, wait a minute, does he know this? I thought it went good, though. It was a lot of fun.
I anticipate artists not getting all 5. I was actually kind of surprised that he did. He seemed pretty in tune with like who went to his school and some of the other celebrities. And there was that school he came from. There's actually a lot of famous people. I just kind of picked a few of them to go with. But
how does that happen?
He crushed it.
How does that happen? Nobody at my school is famous. Like, how did that happen?
I think it's because it was a private school.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my thinking, is because it was a private school and maybe just, I don't know. Yeah, my school either. I don't think anybody. The one famous person from my school was, you remember like Bob the Bachelor, 2001? There was a Bachelor contestant named Bob. I don't even think he was The Bachelor. I think he was just on the show in The Bachelorette. And it kind of gained some fame. Like, that's legitimately the most famous person who went to the high school I spent most of my time in.
You know, I don't watch that show, but I oddly think I remember who you're talking about. Was it like, did he stand out like a news story kind of guy?
A little bit. He was just kind of goofy.
Yes.
Like, he wasn't, like, traditionally handsome.
Yeah,
people kind of liked him.
I remember him. Dang, so
that was it.
If you go to private school, you're going to be famous, and if you go to public school, you'll top out as a semi-marginal contestant on The Bachelor. That's good to know.
I also think a pair of twins that I went to school with are really popular on OnlyFans.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, you got to make some money somehow, right?
Hey, I got to give you credit for, you got to the bottom. I mean, you were like Barbara Walters, like on a story, like Walter Cronkite, not going to let Walker Hayes go until he gave you every last detail about that Applebee's gold card, like how it sounded on the table, how he got it, all the questions that one would want to know about that. You got in there.
I really wanted to know. You know what it stems from? Back in 2002-ish, I was working at a radio station, and the afternoon guy got a Wendy's gold card. I don't know how he got it, and I just remember it was good for a extra value meal a day at any location, and he let me take it every once in a while for lunch, and I would just drive through, and it was an actual like thick metal card. But a lot of the Wendy's by the radio station, like at first didn't understand like what it was. So that's what I was kind of asking questions based off of that. And selfishly, I wanted to know what it sounded like when he dropped it on the table. But the main question I had was like, I don't know, man. It's weird to me. Like if you can Google your net worth, should you be getting free Applebee's? But he's humble enough to say that, because bringing all of his kids to Applebee's, he got like 6 kids. It could be a lot of money. But the most interesting was the catering thing. Like when he was going to get it for his whole crew, he had to like call ahead.
Right. So it's not limited in quantity. He can take like a team of 25 out and just sort of drop that down and go. I found that interesting as well. Like there's no limits to how many people he can feed with that bad boy.
Yeah, but like, does every Applebee's in America just always have to be on standby? Like, because if Walker Hayes drives through the town, because the one
they have
in
a tracking device in them.
Yeah, yeah, the one in Tullahoma, Tennessee that he goes to, probably not too busy all the time, but when he rolls up with his 6 kids, it's got to be news in the town.
The one thing about Walker Hayes that I really kind of love is like that song "Fancy Like." It went viral, right? And a lot of times when an artist has like that kind of viral hit, and it went viral, I think, on TikTok and social media long before it became a radio hit. Like sometimes they'll have that song and they'll promote that song, but at the same time they'll try to like backdoor in maybe like the real like serious song they're thinking about, because they maybe even want to keep a tiny bit of distance between them and that viral moment so they don't become known as just that thing. Like Walker Hayes said, No. He put the hammer down. Like he full throttled into it. He got the whole family involved. He did all the performances, the Applebee's. He's remaking it into a Christmas song. Like he has if he ends up just being known as the Fancy Like guy, he has no problem with that. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. I think he realized he had a big hit on his hand, and he tried so hard for so long to make it. So I think that he'll just take it. But he doubled down on what you're saying too by releasing a second song after that was AA, which was some would argue semi-novelty as well. So is he the novelty guy now, or can he put out a serious song, or will people not take him seriously?
Well, I think all of his songs kind of like have that sort of lyrical sort of uniqueness about them where they're novel, like the way he spits out lyrics and rhymes and kind of twists phrases and structures songs. No one else does that. So he's like a novel artist in that kind of sense. But yeah, he absolutely has songs that can be really serious ballads. I know one he released called, I believe it's called His Briefcase. It's about his dad's briefcase. It's a really touching, kind of a tearjerker song. He lost his father a couple years ago. And then he had another song, and I think this is my favorite Walker Hayes song. It's called Don't Let Her. It's about like if he dies, what advice he'd be given to his wife's like the new man in their life. And it's like all these like simple, sweet things that she does and like little details. And I'll never forget, like at a festival watching this old lady, she was probably about 70 years old, had no idea who Walker Hayes was, but was sitting there watching him front row and he started singing that song. And she had like the biggest weepy-eyed smile on her face. Like she just fell in love with him right there. And it was like the most special thing to watch. So yeah, he totally can do that if you dive into his catalog. Like he makes great albums. There's no doubt about it.
I don't know. I've never heard that last song you were talking about, but hell no. There's no way I would make a song like that. Man, how did he do that? There's no way.
Yeah, you have to have a new kind of sort of generosity or perspective, I guess. That's what he thinks about. Like, he had no patience for the aliens question.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny how that led him into like, I don't even know my final destination when I get to the airport and they say, is this your final? Was that like a deep thing that he was posting? Because you know your final destination, right? It's on your ticket, but was he trying to be like deep? Like, I don't know my final destination in life.
Maybe a little bit. I do think he's a little bit impulsive. Like, I think he said he can't even... His wife has to keep the gold card because she doesn't trust that he won't go just, all Applebee's crazy and ruin his diet. Like she's got him on a meal plan.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I mean, the guy's in perfect shape. By no means does he need to be, but his wife knows the deal. I thought that was funny that she keeps it too. That's funny.
She runs a tight ship. Here's the last thing that I think is really interesting, and you got kids too, so you can kind of appreciate this. I mean, getting his kids involved and like them still being that eager. I would not have been that cool with it. Like if my dad was Walker Hayes, like I would come 12, 13, 14, I would have been like, not against it, but maybe even a little embarrassed because my classmates are starting to notice and they're not making fun of me, but they're paying too much attention to me in school. Like that would have been like a hard no for me at that age.
Yeah, see, I was kind of like class clowny, a little bit, but I still don't know if I would have been into that, Yeah, like you said, it's hard to tell because that technology wasn't like around when, we're not that old, but there was really no social media back then, so it's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know, but then like if your mom was like Taylor Swift or if your dad was like Luke Bryan, I don't know. I kind of would be telling everybody, so I can't really answer that question. I'm not sure.
I think his kids are homeschooled, so they probably are they don't get that at school necessarily. So their social group is a little bit more selective, probably.
Man, what a busy household that's got to be, man. Gosh, 6 kids, homeschooled. Oh, man.
He's got like 14 pets, too. He's got a ton of pets.
Oh, my goodness. And
ton of animals.
Yeah. Yeah, and didn't they just move into a bigger house too?
Yeah, I think he got some land down near Tullahoma, is what he said.
Jeez.
So that makes sense, but yeah, he was just like in a neighborhood. It was just like a neighborhood house.
Yeah, he's cool, man. Imagine if Walker Hayes was in your neighborhood. That would be fun. It would be more fun than if any other country star was, I think, other than Luke Bryan. I like Walker Hayes' vibe.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. I think every time he comes in, like people ask all the time, who's your favorite to talk to? And he's up there in the top 3 for me, like just because we get on so well, like, and he's so open and honest about everything. He always has the highs and lows, and he's just sort of always been that way. So, man, as long as he lives, he'll always have a place for me in terms of covering what he does.
Yeah, he is very open and honest. I love that about him. You're right. But I think you also like him because he complimented your hair.
It doesn't hurt. I think when people pay me nice compliments, that feels good.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast, Taste of Country Nights on Demand with me, Evan Paul. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, rate button. It all helps us out. This podcast is part of the Town Square Media Podcast Network.